what goes on inside of you, what you say to yourself, how you're feeling, what all those emotions are going on inside of you is ultimately what you project externally. So if you're doing a presentation or you're going to an important meeting, you want to make sure that you're feeling as much confidence as you possibly can, so that you go into that meeting or interaction and you perform at your best. 3 things you can do before going, to step up to present or to before you open your mouth in that meeting are, number 1, check in with your breathing. So make sure you're breathing as deeply as possible, because that means there's more oxygen going to your head. And when you get nervous, you kind of get tense, and that affects your breathing, and it will affect your voice and how you sound. So when people start having shaky voices when they get nervous, okay, that's because they're not breathing from a deep enough place. So check in on your breathing and start really breathing as well as you can. Number 2 is posture. Okay, when we get nervous, we tighten up and we sort of, and that sort of affects how we're feeling. We feel tense, and that's also what we project to other people. Is we look tense, we look nervous, we don't communicate that we know what we're talking about, even if we do. So sort of widen your body language as much as you can. Sort of change your posture. And I'm not suggesting, if you're female, that you should have sort of really wide body language that is unnatural, but just open up your body language to say, here I am and I'm ready to have this conversation, rather than sort of tightening up or folding your arms or whatever. So number 1 is breathing. Number 2 is widen your posture so that you look relaxed and ready to have that interaction. Number 3, especially if you're going up to present, is before you start talking, pause. And pause for a couple of seconds, 1 or 2 seconds. It might feel like a lifetime, especially if you're stood in front of a room of people. But what that pause does is 2 things. Number 1, it means that you can kind of collate your thoughts. And it gives you a second just to get ready, breathe, change your posture, get ready, feel confident. Yeah. The second thing it does is it communicates that you're confident. Because when people are nervous, they stand up in front of the room or they start talking in front of a number of people, and they just go blah, 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 blah. And it demonstrates that you're nervous and you're just rambling, okay? So by pausing, just taking that second or 2 before you start talking, gathers your thoughts, and it communicates that you have got everything in control. So it communicates confidence. So number 1 is breathing, number 2 is posture, and number 3 is pause. And if you do those 3 things before you stand up and present, before you sit in front of that big meeting, then you are going to communicate much more confidently. And if you want to find out more about how to communicate confidently, how to build authority, then set up a free fast-track consultation at www.youandlaura.com. And I look forward to seeing you there.